Let there be peace and love. Welcome to Satsang. Reading sometimes here and there a sentence of the scriptures, I see that all of them give emphasis to remind yourself who you really are, discarding what the mind says. Again and again, again and again, from the very beginning of the book till the end. And it looks like Satsang does the same. Why so? Because of millions of years of trusting the mind, of believing what the mind presents. And the subject, I am this person who is born, as it is taken for real by himself, herself. The world he sees will look like real. So it has its own power because it is the expression of what's real, of your real nature. That's why it has a name, Maya, Samsara. It has its own magic in its expression. The thing is that one identifies with the subject. I am the one I think I am. I have experiences, so I'm real. And Satsang, the scriptures, say, oh, stop a moment. You are hypnotized. You are listening to your mind. While the mind is unreal by nature, just don't listen to anything. Abide in yourself as you always are. And you will not experience it, otherwise you create a subject and an object. You will not know it, otherwise you create again I and an object. You will not feel it, because again I will rise and you will have an experience, an emotion, a feeling, a sense. So for once, understand that clearly, so that you really want to be free. So there is only one way. Don't listen to your mind. And I include knowledge, emotions, senses, all what can appear, all what needs a subject to exist. That's why it is recommended to have the company of the wise, means those who fell in love or who see the extreme, I don't know how to say in English, value of that realization. Otherwise, one as a subject, as a I was born, will go in vicious circles, endlessly, suffering, having pleasures, and suffering more. So, generally, that is put into question, or there is a surge, I want to be freed from all what I know and experience cannot be, it has always a dead end. It always ends in unsatisfaction. So that search for liberation is a blessing, is unique in one incarnation, and when it appears, make benefit of it. Go to a teacher who knows what he teaches. You are that. You are that even now, that you believe it or not. So go for it, at once if you can, otherwise at least before the event of death occurs. Yes. Do you hear? Do you hear anything? Do you hear?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You don't have to be nearer. As soon as like this you will hear?
Yes.
Did you hear? Yes, I listen.
There is a fear. There is a going back, and
where? Going back where? So that I understand.
Mm-hmm. Yes. That is, I don't know. This is just a habit to, like this movement, always
Okay.
do something, and so there is a fear, and I know that everything is too much, and so maybe this is what I just say now. This is also just a talking of the mind, a
Then what
habit.
else? What else is it? Is it not an emotion? What is fear? What is fear? Which shape it has again? Tell me, name it. What is fear? Maybe it doesn't exist then. You are in a dream. Wake up. Come to satsang. Welcome. Welcome to satsang. Don't give a minute more to the dream. So what's here? No dream.
No.
What's here? The trouble, you see, is that one loves the dream. One is attached to the dream, even if it is suffering. There is a funny phenomena because it gives you a sense of existence. I am somebody. Oh, I'm somebody. What a bad luck.
Ganga, I need your help really.
I wish to help you. Tell me.
I cannot stand it anymore.
Yeah.
I cannot sleep, I cannot eat.
Yeah. And
I
what?
cannot go to the people anymore, to
Yeah.
talk to the, go to the beach.
Okay.
I'm
What
totally...
you cannot stand anymore? What can you not stand anymore?
The topic,
Your
was
own
30
mind.
years for this
Yeah.
bullshit, I cannot,
Yes.
I cannot anymore.
I am.
And
yes.
yesterday I went for some lucid dreaming because I didn't know what to do anymore, and Papaji appeared and he struck me so hard in my face, my nose was bleeding like hell the whole night. And he said, I have to leave this place. Satsang is not for me. He said, it is not for you.
Listen. All is a projection, my dear. All is a projection.
There's nothing there. There's nothing.
But what a luck. When there is something, one suffers. And not only there is nothing, there is nobody there. Because if
Yes,
you
but
remain,
all these years for this nothing, for nothing.
Listen.
I spent all
No.
my time,
No.
all my energy
Listen.
for nothing.
Listen. If you are somebody with nothing, it's a drama. There is nobody also, but that you want to keep someone who found there is absolutely nothing. What a thing. Yes, I understand. What a despair. But you forget to include the somebody. This one I see. This one whose mind troubles so much. So what
I
do
will
you...
never realize this. I will never see the face of the Lord. So I can just cancel. I can just die and that's it.
Then you have to come back to me. There is no escape. Do it.
Do what?
Who am I? Do it. You have not even done once, I'm sure. You remove the branches of the tree. Maybe you have done that. I don't know much about you. Maybe you have done that. But the trunk is there, the tree with its root. What is the root? I found nothing. There is nothing there. All those years for what? Nothing. Yes, it is here that the real search starts. And you need only a struck. You need only to wake up here. To wake up to what? To what I can never know. And I will never say it's nothing or it's something. I will never know. I will not appear here. It is written everywhere. You may throw the books, you may throw the gurus, and still one day you will still have to hear this. Just investigate. But who is in this despair? Who? And where do you go when you ask this question? You tell me, we can do it together.
I go to I.
Yes, I. You are right. Who is doing? But who am I? Can you go back to what you know now? You cannot say, who am I? No, it's a loop. It's fake. You have not asked the question. If you know, you are a martial art master. So there is this arrow, or you call kendo, whatever. Not only you have to place it in the right place, look at the right spot, okay? But you have to throw it. Who am I is an arrow. It has a direction. And when it reaches the direction, it roots out I. And keep quiet there. And do it again and again as long as the mind is strong on you. That's our life. I can do it again and again with you if you like.
Yes.
Yeah? I'm very happy. So don't despair.
Thank you.
You see, listening to the mind is misery. But I always say, I stress, don't try to have fantastic, looking like state, looking like enlightenment or whatever. Don't try. It's of no use. Try to know when you follow the movement of your mind. Then you are fucked up. You see? You can, there is a dead end always there. Because it's the wrong way. Actually, one has not to go anywhere. But for that, you have not to base yourself anywhere. And the swallowed general base is, I am this body-mind. I am born. As if it was not questionable. So satsang shows that it is questionable. It's already a step, an expression too much. So one has just not to pick it up. Not as a way of life. It has to be sharp like laser. Pass! Like that. And if you go back into time, again do it. Again do it. Make a life like this. So, maybe you can close your ears if you like. I like the few verses of this Yoga Vashishta. I like the look of Ramana, who is no more troubled by whatever the mind says because he doesn't take it for something. Neither one who is totally ignorant, nor one who knows the truth, is eligible to study this book. Only he who thinks I am bound, I must become free, is entitled to study it. Just as a steady boat is obtained from a boatman, so also the method of crossing the ocean of samsara is learned by associating with great souls. The great remedy for the long-lasting disease of samsara is the inquiry. Who am I? To whom does this samsara belong? Which entirely cures it? Not a day should be spent in a place which does not possess the trees of a wise knower of truth, with its good food and cool shade. The sages are to be approached, even if they do not teach. Even their talks in a light vein contains wisdom. The company of sages converts emptiness into fullness, converts nothingness into fullness, death into reality, adversity into prosperity. He is indeed an unfortunate person who, not knowing his own self, takes pleasure in sense objects, like one who realizes too late that the food eaten by him was poisonous. That perverted man who, even after knowing that worldly objects are deceptive, still thinks of them, is an ass, not a man. Even the slightest thought immerses a man in sorrow. The slightest thought. When, devoid of all thoughts, he enjoys imperishable bliss. He who has understood well how to abandon all ideas of acceptance and rejection, and who has realized the consciousness which is within the innermost heart, his life is peace. Nothing whatever is born or dies anywhere at any time. It is Brahman alone, appearing illusorily in the form of the world. Neither disease, nor poison, nor adversity, nor any other thing in the world causes more suffering to men than such a stupidity engendered in their body-mind. That's why, again and again, try to catch where it leads you, from the Chan traditions to the Advaita traditions, to whatever beyond tradition. It is said, don't think. Don't think. Don't go into the movement of thinking, which includes experiences, sensing, feeling, knowing. Don't think. You see, look at those faces. Those faces, they don't think. Look at this face. Don't think. Don't think. Huh? There's more beautiful faces than the one who doesn't think. Look at this. Don't think. Yes.
Sometimes the disturbance in the force.
In the force?
In the joke.
In the what?
Vigilance is present.
Attends, sometimes there is a disturbance in the force.
It was just a joke.
I didn't catch it, I'm so sorry.
Huh?
I didn't understand anything.
It's a line from the Star Wars.
What Star Wars? Okay, Star Wars. You are in a movie. Star Wars is a movie. I told you, in the movie you have everything. Where is the screen?
Good question. I don't know.
Because you are it.
Yeah.
Ah, you forgot. Okay. You are it. Can you see something if you are it? Hmm?
No.
No. So Jen, keep quiet. You see, this bondage, thought of bondage or experience of bondage is surely in the mind of somebody. And this new concept of freedom, enlightenment, liberation is also in the mind of somebody. So the best would be just hear that you are already yourself. Don't go into your mind. Now, because of these habits which overpowered the subject, to always trust what appears, that concept of liberation has been given, at least not to give another concept or another object to the mind, but to allow the subject to empty himself, to give up concepts, to understand that it's of no use to cut branches of the tree, of this body and mind, but it is more efficient, totally efficient, to root out the root, to see maybe that there was never a tree. To see that this I is an appearance only. It's part of the movie. So why to search? It will be in the movie. Just for once, don't be hypnotized by the movie. Don't look at it. Means don't go into your mind. A split second, even said my master. A split second. Just that, so that what your real nature reveals itself, which is always there. So that trust has to be fully there to do it. Otherwise, there is nothing to do because you already are it. If it is not clear, please ask. It's very important not to lose your energy and your time in sideways, in details. Go for the real thing. We have no time. If you look at the ocean, you see the span of the waves is very short. It's like our life. So it's urgent. You never know when you will hear in some place with authority that you are not the body-mind. It is just part of the appearance. You are not it. You are what you cannot objectify, so just keep quiet. You never know how long you can hear that. So make it the ultimate time. You never know.
I would like to share something I experienced this morning. I was reading a few lines of Papaji, and he was talking of the thought like dogs, being like dogs.
They bark.
Yes. And suddenly I remembered a dream which I had when I was maybe 12 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
and it was like a dog, but very strong, and I was looking like in fire, and I was trying with a torch of gas fire to burn it. But the more I was doing and fighting, he was becoming bigger and bigger and more scary. And then after some time I woke up and I realized it was not there. But what I felt this morning was like I really understood that this is a mind.
Yes,
If I try to fight any ounce,
you are in it.
I give it power.
Yes, that's why it is said it is nor rejection nor acceptance. You just keep right where you already are. Very good.
So I got I
That's
understood
enough.
something
That's
in the
bad.
yes.
That's
yeah,
it.
Yeah, very good.
Second best, if you feel too much identified with your body mind, which can happen, negate. Negate. I experience this, not this. I feel that, not that. Understand that, not this. I have an insight, not it. Jungle of the mind. At some point, you are left with what? Emptiness? Not that.
Nothingness.
Not I will tell you something nice. You saw Papaji, no? Last night. And I tell you something strong. Did you hear? No. It's your projection, I said. Okay. Generally, we would say it's a blessing. It's a projection. You see, one day I was with Papaji, and it was one of those extraordinary moments. And I had this experience, but I was not aware it was an experience. I felt, okay, I'm it. And immediately I said to Papaji, oh, that's what Ramana lives. And you know what he said to me?
Don't bring Ramana here.
Don't bring Ramana here! Oh.
So, also many of these mystics' visions and happenings are again mind,
Yes, my dear.
projections, or are they projections from?
Yes, attainments with a spiritual path, big desire to wish that which is happening, projections, mystical level of the consciousness, which is the manifestation of the self. Yes, and many are swimming there. And drawing there. Drowning.
Drowning,
Yes.
swimming, and
Yes. Yes.
so is traps.
Yes. Whatever can be caught, whatever knowing, trap, mind, you may enjoy for a while. Best enjoyment for a while. Then you are back to the seeking. Even if you may say the contrary. You will always wish to go back there, the best you know. So be free. Dare to be free. Dare to be free. After all, those very looking, very sweet master and loving master, if you hear what they say, that's what they say. Be free. It's your birthright. Don't be bound by projections. I'm so thankful, you cannot imagine, so grateful to have heard that in my life. And you hear it too.
Even Buddha said, if you see wood in the way, kill it.
If they are masters, they will always say the same thing. Really. But don't kill him too early. Because then you will be left with your person.
May I put a slightly question? When Papaji said that we don't bring Ramana here, did you understand clearly?
I was completely shocked,
Okay.
but kept quiet. Because I was very afraid of my master when he was like that mood, in that mood. His nose was... Oh. Tenez-vous à carreau. Hein. Appelez. But I still hooked at something. I don't know what, but hard cookie. So I'm not afraid of hard cookies.
It seems that only this rising I needs to be vigilant, and only this I needs to not comment everything, not think, not.
Why no, why do you go so far? Don't bring I. Vigilance is not to bring I. And when you bring I know what you do, you give yourself some holidays. Or sometimes.
It's something to do with the relative world, not to bring I don't know what is the word, but the understanding into the samsara.
Very good.
Not to apply
Yes.
as a useful.
Very good.
Because it's a different reality. It's real. Satsang is real, and the samsara is an illusion. This is my understanding.
Yeah.
So, to identify the ultimate with the limited, it's a great impossible.
Yeah. So we keep quiet.
So it's better to keep quiet. Because if we don't, we are in trouble.
it's like when I can spot the person, the mind, then it's like it's an ocean behind all the time, dancing emotion in a way. Is it too much also?
And what is this for you, this dancing ocean?
It's like that is the reality.
Then you cannot see it. But you see, every expression is the self. Everything is the self. But don't make a separation. And for that, you first have to negate everything.
Because it's like this ocean is me.
Yes, but it is an experience. So, what is it that can see that, that can feel that? And you don't need to think that I don't know is your last answer. The last answer is to realize that you already abide in yourself. And everything else, anyway, are expressions of that. So it is that. And yet you need this paradox. You need to first not bring anything with you, not even I, to realize, to just keep quiet in what you always are. And then, after, the poet may express, but he will not have a doubt or a question. Do you know it? Welcome to Satsang. So in Satsang we don't bring our shoes as a symbol. Means we don't bring the person who wears chappals, shoes. You come to Satsang leaving the person away. So actually, Satsang stresses, give emphasis to what you really are, which is not this body-mind which is sitting here. This body-mind I see and yourself see are appearances, first appearances, means first rising, first manifestation, first creation of what you really are. And satsang is to remind you, when you suffer in this body-mind, even when you have pleasure, endure, suffer, but know that you are not that. In reality, you are not that. You will not know with your mind. You will not know it through your feelings and body. So that you have to awake to that, like you wake up from a dream. You have to wake up from that. And that waking up is, look at me, like a blink of an eye. It's as quick. So try not to link yourself just a second. You close your eyes, just a second, to all what you know of yourself. And all what appears in your mind or in your body, know from very young age, it's just an appearance. Prasad. Only that.
Thank you. Thank you.
You see what you express, Yamuna, is exactly when one is identified, it takes that for real. You see, I remember when I met Papaji, just met, and he asked me, what do you want? That story which is in the book. I told him, because I could not conceive something higher, I said cosmic consciousness. And by his presence, he allowed me to live that. I was identified with that experience. And so I was at the top of my happiness or whatever was expressed, but because I finally experienced what I conceived the most. And so I believed my real nature is cosmic consciousness, which was in other images, but it's what you express, you see. So one has to not trust when one suddenly has an insight very vast and thinks this is what I am. It's an insight, you see. And probably you will tell you don't have that all the time, or you have to go back to your memory. Isn't it?
Yes,
Yes. Because of that, because it is still the mind. So realization is really to be freed. Finally, the relief is so big that the word is very poor to say. That's why it's said even liberation, whatever. From even the top of imagination and concepts of the mind. You see? And Nisargadatta, he expressed it in a wonderful title of a book. He said, you are not only consciousness, you are prior to consciousness. And consciousness, you can still experience it. I becomes consciousness, so it's real, it must be that. No. Prior, when nobody is there to catch and to know and to experience it. What a beauty. Then you cannot lose it.
And this is beyond understanding.
Totally. That's why one has to experience that understanding I is disappearing there. He cannot survive there.
And what about, maybe it's a stupid thing, but I must put that question. If one part is I and another part is not I at the same time?
I don't understand.
Neither, but I put it there. What about...
Already there are a lot of divisions, but this one I didn't know.
Okay. What about if at the same time one part is I and another part is non-I? I can illustrate, or you don't need?
Is a person with two legs, no? One leg is in the no I and one leg is...
Two legs are, it's also...
I mean, what do you
I
want
mean
to
something
say?
like that. Once I was here in Satsang, and suddenly I put a question and went somewhere.
Yes.
And at the same time, something was observed there.
Yes.
And at the same time, the mind was there also, because I remember to have that thinking, that thought, let's see if Ganga can see it. That I was there, mind was there. But at the same time, I was in somewhere observing just that, not following the thoughts.
Yeah, but you see, it's impossible. The mind cannot take two thoughts at the same time. It's impossible.
That it was a dichotomy. Sometimes it was, sometimes it was not.
Yes. Because the time makes it like a continuity. Actually, there is no continuity. So, you jump from one thought to another. They are of different kinds. Okay. Because even to be the observer is a thought of yourself. You see. So through practice, probably you have known that, and then you jump all the time, in and out, and the in is the observer, and the out is the thought, object to observe. But it's still the mind, huh? It is still the mind. So, better not to create an observer. Why not? Why don't you see that you are the seer itself? The seer who can see the observer, busy or not busy. As long as one is busy with the mind, he will not make it, you see. The question is not that the mind will totally, perfectly understand and then I will be freed from it. No, it is your desire for freedom which will burn this utopia that the mind will be so ready, so well trained and so well informed that he will leave you alone. No. You have to be so fiery that you don't want to listen to your mind. Like that, again and again, as long as it is necessary. I read one sloka. Even if you have known the real truth, you have to practice always. Of course, the word practice has to be understood. That's what I replied to him. Vigilance, not from I. Go back there, not to feed the I. Again, 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 till this movement itself fades away by itself. There will be nobody there to make it fade away. I mean, it's written in every great scriptures. It is said in every real satsang. Try to hear and try to surrender to it. Don't be rebellious here. You will suffer. Try for once, for a split second, to obey the wise.
May I keep going on that?
I don't know if everybody wants to hear you.
I just mind if you want. No? I'm too selfish for that. Sorry,
Because, listen, what do you prefer, to hear your own question or to just abide in the self as we were doing? Only the dog was barking. We were not barking. You can join the dog if you like.
I would like to hear your answer.
Okay.
Because that's kind of, on me it's not clear. But it starts to be clear because of what you said before.
Tell. Okay.
That what strikes me,
Yeah.
it's that quick dichotomy between mind and no mind at the same time. It looks to me at the same time, but it was not indeed.
Yeah, indeed. Happy to see that?
Very happy.
Okay. Then let's not bark anymore.
Ganga?
Yes.
What is the fear that is coming?
It's a presentation of the mind, which is known, it comes from the past. That's why it is so important not to carry the past. It has no meaning today. Anything you want to ask? No?
The inquiry is not working when I'm lost in that mind.
Yes, but that's why I really request you to come to satsang more often. You see, be determined that it happens. It is not to bind you. It's a blessing. I speak for me to have satsang regularly in this life. I tell you, it's very precious. I speak for me.
I think I have seen the face of the mind for the first time. The real face.
Don't be fascinated by it.